Was Joellen being a messy queen when she spilled the tea about Rula's husband cheating? Or was she being a girl's girl? Either way, Joellen is quickly becoming the girl that you do not want to be on her bad side. Let's get into the episode 2 of The Real Housewives of Rhode Island. What's up, girl? It's your girl V with Reality Recap here for another Tea Talk session. And we are talking about episode 2 of Real Housewives of Rhode Island. I am so thrilled and seated for this franchise. Episode 1, the premiere, we got Thursday, and Bravo fed the children, honey. They gave us episode 2 by moving Rhode Island to a new night. It now will premiere on Sundays following Real Housewives of Atlanta, which also had a great season premiere last night. And I'll be getting into that later this evening with my good friends over at Bravo While Black. But we are going to talk about the Real Housewives of Rhode Island, honey. Like, it's giving old school reality TV where they didn't show up trying to mimic the formula of what they think a popular reality TV star is. They are authentic, raw. In some cases, they don't think before they speak. They're just being themselves, and it makes for great TV. I'm not kidding you. If you're not watching this franchise, jump on, watch the first 2 episodes, get caught up so you're ready for next Sunday because they did not come to play. One of the producers commented on one of my posts on Threads, and he said every single episode is going to deliver. There's not a dull one of them. Daddy Andy said the same thing, and I'm starting to believe that to be true. And we're only 2 episodes in. So let's get into the things, honey. Starting with Liz. Liz has a stepdaughter. I think her stepdaughter's about 25 years old. She actually has 3 or 4 stepdaughters. She doesn't have any children of her own, but she raised them from very young with her husband, Jerry. And one of the stepdaughters is pregnant, and she's pregnant out of wedlock. Like, she's not married. And I was saying, wow, like they're showing this on TV because, we see in other franchises like Salt Lake City where that is taboo. That is not to be done. You'll get kicked out of your family, sent away, kind of blacklisted for being pregnant out of wedlock. And they're showing their real life. So I was just like, wow, like they're coming with it and they're sharing everything, not hiding anything, just being their true authentic selves. Um, we then see Ashley and Joellen at the park. Ashley's falling apart, honey, but it's real life shit. Like, her husband is trying to make his business work. He has a barista, like a coffee shop. He's trying to make it work, working long hours, but also being down on himself because he's not bringing in the money that he wants to, or the lifestyle that we're seeing all the other women live on the show right now. And she just wants him to be happy, while also he's gone these long hours, and she has these 3 kids, 3 or 4 kids, I'm still learning them, um, on her own. And she's at the park, one's crying, one's screaming they gotta go to the bathroom, the other one wants to get on the swing but too small. Like, she's just falling apart at the seams, but it's real life shit. I do wonder sometimes, how the hell did she end up on this show with these women? Sometimes she could be a bit of a space cadet, like way too optimistic for Housewives reality TV show. Like, she's just in her own world, marching to the beat of her own drum. She doesn't seem like she has a shady bone in her body. She doesn't seem built for confrontation. I think she's going to be one that, if she continues with the show, she's going to be one of those ones that start off nice and then she gets into the groove of these women and she's going to start to develop tougher skin and start to learn how to shade, honey. But I just be looking like, Ashley, how did you end up here? And to think she was on The Bachelor, and I listen, I don't watch The Bachelor. I don't know if they get shady over there or cutthroat. I would think they do because they're all fighting over one man. But she was on that show several times, right? Like 3 or 4 times she mentioned she met her husband on The Bachelor Paradise. It seemed like she was on a sequel or something. So you would think she's a little bit more ready for reality TV, but she's not at all. Not at all ready. But she again is showing up as herself, being herself. She ain't trying to play the role of nobody that she ain't. So it works, but she is definitely like the odd man out with her positivity for real. We finally met Rula. Rula was the last, or they call her Rula La. Some people call her, but we met Rula last night. She didn't leave a good impression with me. First impression was full of herself. She's like, yeah, she has this big finance strategy company. She's the breadwinner. She's the only captain. She has a boat and she pulls up in her boat, like, yes, the bitch is here. Like, I don't know. First impressions was given she thinks she's above everyone else. She made some comments about where some of the women live, which we'll get into. Yeah, first impressions weren't good to me of Rula. She comes in and she sits down and she meets with Liz and Kelsey. And she's upset seemingly with Kelsey and Liz because they went to Joellen's 4th of July party. And Rula got beef with Joellen. Joellen brought news to her that Rula's husband was cheating on her. Um, Doubt Joellen was the only one in Rhode Island talking about this. I mean, there was pictures. The woman, his mistress, posted pictures on her page as if maybe she didn't know he was married or what. I don't know. Or maybe he made her feel like she was the only one. I have no idea. But this woman posted pictures, apparently lives in Joellen's neighborhood. And Rula wanted the information. She wanted the pictures. And Joellen supplied her with the pictures. Rula says that she quickly felt like Joellen wasn't being a girl's girl or being supportive. It was more that she was digging, being nosy and messy. And I found it interesting, and we learned later in the episode, it started to click to me. But Rula mentioned how Joellen is in the beauty business industry and that her and her husband know a lot of people in that industry, and that Joellen can come off as a nice bubbly person, but that's not her true personality, which I would say I'm learning the same. I have to say Joellen being this shady, witty with her comebacks and like real was not on my bingo card. I was expecting that from Liz. I didn't see that coming from Joellen. I really didn't. I thought she was just like the glue of Rhode Island. Hey, Shamia. I thought she was just gonna be the glue, the one that knows everyone, one that knows everything. Like I thought she was the glue of Rhode Island. But honey, it's given she's the crazy glue, honey, and she's somebody you do not want to stick on her bad side. Nice little pun there. But yeah, that wasn't on my bingo card, but she's shady, honey. And in the first episode, I was like, I don't know if I like how she's treating Rosie. But then as you get into her shade and comebacks and seeing what's to come in upcoming episodes, and even what she posted last night, which we'll get into, I said, okay, I like the shady part of her. I do. I don't like her beef with Rosie, but her and Rula's beef and how she come back at people, I can dig it. I can dig it. But yeah, so still we're at this luncheon table with Kelsey, Liz, and Rula. And Rula's like not clear why they went to Joellen's 4th of July party. She's talking about how this affair that her husband had is over, that it's no longer happening, that he said it's done, and Liz is telling her, but no, boo, it ain't. He's still messing with her. It's not over. And Liz seemingly is not really here for the lies of it just being this one time affair that's over. Liz seems to think so, and that's the rumblings around town, that this is an affair that's been happening for some time, for some years, and that it's still happening. I feel like Rula lashed out on Liz because Liz was keeping it 100. And even in her confession, she's like, well, you've had infidelities in your marriage, right, Liz, even on your side, and you didn't leave your husband. You know, I heard that once the cat's away, the mice will play, or whatever they say, right? So, and you guys are still together. I'll just leave it at that. So she tried to throw Liz under the bus because her husband is in the spotlight for being a cheater right now. And she even went on to say, which what I thought was a bit hurtful. She was saying, well, you may not understand, or something to that fact of like, well, I have biological children with him. That makes it different. And Liz was offended by that, which she should have. I was offended for her, where she's saying, okay, but yeah, I may not have birthed my stepdaughters myself, but I've been there with them, raising them since they were young because they didn't have a mother to raise them, and I was married to their father. I sacrificed my life to make sure that they were okay and raise them. So she was offended by it, and then quickly Rula tried to take it back. I didn't mean it like that. You meant it exactly how you said it. It was rude, and Rula did not make a good first impression with me. I'm sorry. She just didn't. And then she's talking about, it's always the same with women, right? Women always mad at the other woman, never mad at the man. You still married to him, you still giving him another chance, but she's on TV calling the other woman a cockroach, a hoe, all these things. You don't know her, you don't know what he done told her, you just know the lies he told you. But it's always so typical of the women to be mad at each other instead of sitting down and comparing notes and finding out what's really going on. You just want to call this woman names, and she's not on television to defend herself. So yeah, Rula didn't make a great impression with me this first go around. We'll see what else she got to bring this season, but it quickly went from me feeling like, from the trailer, oh, Liz, she looks strong. She looked like she's going to be the dominant one. So everybody trying to play in Liz's face. And then I don't like that. Rula being one of them who tried to play in her face. Alicia tried to play in her face last night. We'll talk about that. But it was like, it quickly went from me thinking Liz would be the villain to last episode feeling like, ooh, Joellen, you might be the villain. I still think she got some villain tendencies, to now feeling like I don't really care too much for Rula. Do you see what I'm saying? And we only 2 episodes into this new franchise. I'm really enjoying it, y'all. I'm really enjoying it. We then see a little bit more of Kelsey's life, right? We see her in this home. We now learn she has living staff, cleaning women, chefs, living staff, 24 hours every day. She doesn't have to lift a finger. We already know um who she's dating. If we don't, we'll talk about that really quickly. His name is John Caprio. He's the son of Frank Caprio. Frank is a well-known judge. He was the Providence municipal judge, like head of that department or whatever you want to call it, for over 40 years. He was known for viral clips of his show, his judge show, called Caught in Providence. A very prominent, rich family in Providence, Rhode Island. And she is in an unconventional relationship where her man, 6 months out of the year, lives in Miami with another woman. And she lives in this huge 16,000 square foot home, movie theater, hair salon, spa, pool, living staff for 6 months out of the year by herself. I don't care what you're saying. Kelsey is living the dream. She's living the dream. I said that in my short video that I gave about my thoughts on episode 1. Kelsey, don't leave that man. Don't you leave that man and get up off your throne for another woman to come and sit down. I told you the broke ones cheat too. you know? So do you want to cry in a Rolls Royce or do you want to cry in a Nissan? It's one or the other, girl. Do not get up off your throne. I wouldn't. She's living the life. And they've been together like 10 plus years. She's former Miss Rhode Island. And honestly, the streets is, this is Bravo. They're going to dig up everything. The streets are already, there's rumblings of who the mistress is, or I don't even know if you want to call it a mistress because he ain't married to Kelsey. He just has two girlfriends. So the woman that he lives the other 6 months in Miami with, there's pictures floating of her. Kelsey better than her. If that's the woman, allegedly, her page is private. I gave y'all a little bit of information. I showed y'all a picture on the shorts. You can see it on my social media platforms. Kelsey better than her. I don't know what her house look like in Miami. I'm sure it's nice too. I'm sure she's living a great lifestyle. Kelsey, you good over there. Stay right where you is. I literally wrote that in my notes. Kelsey is living the life. Do you know how my husband snore? To be apart 6 months? It's like she's living the dream, okay? And she should not get up off her throne. I'm telling you now, all right? She's living the life. I wouldn't trade it. Nope. Nope. We got to see a little bit more of Alicia. Alicia, I could tell from Watch What Happens Live. She just says whatever comes to her mind, no filter, doesn't think before she speaks. It makes for great reality TV. We saw her driving and she's driving and she's like, oh, I hate driving. Oh, why don't you fix your car? She's talking to people on the road. And she just so casually said that she ran over a woman. She hates driving. And the producer was like, you ran over a woman? She's like, yeah, ran over a woman. And she said it so casually, like it's an everyday thing. I'm sitting there waiting for more information. Like, is the woman okay? Is she alive? What happened? Did you go to jail? Is the police on their way to get you because you up here confessing to us that you ran over a woman? She did give an exclusive statement to Us Weekly. That's also posted on my social medias. That's why you should be following me. But she talked a little bit more about it. She said she was driving down the street very slow, like 15 miles per hour, and the woman jumped out in front of her car as if she was trying to unalive herself. I don't know nobody that decides to unalive themselves by jumping in front of a car that's only going 15 miles per hour. I don't know. But that's what the woman said, honey. Like, this cast is wild. Wild. I just love Alicia. Like, again, she's just so unfiltered. She's like, yeah, I just love a good cracker. When I leave the house, I need crackers. I need fig Newtons. I love a good cheese. I got to pack my snacks. I love a good carb. Like, the woman is hilarious. She's hilarious. I love it. I love it. Yeah, I really do. So, yeah, she was driving, headed over to Kelsey's house because Kelsey is organizing a trip to a winery. So she gets all the girls together. They're going to the winery and they get there and Kelsey pulls Joellen to the side to tell her, hey, I think Rula's going to be here today. And I want to let you know, like, we had lunch with her and she's upset with you about you bringing this information about her husband cheating. And then we get to hear Joellen's side of it. And Joelle is saying, like, yeah, she called me, begged me for these pictures. She wanted the information. The woman lives in my neighborhood. I gave her the pictures. And then she said, Rula turned around, and this is what I was saying earlier, why it kind of made sense, because I was wondering, like, why did Rula have to say, oh, yeah, Joellen's in the beauty business industry, and we know a lot of people in that industry. Come to find out, Joellen is saying that Rula, after receiving those pictures, was upset and I guess feeling like Joellen was spreading this information throughout Rhode Island. She and her husband called Rula's job, called her HR department complaining about her and trying to get her fired. It didn't work. She didn't lose her job. I don't know what this gossip has to do with her job. But Joellen is ready for Rula. You hear me? She's saying it's like, you don't come for my family, my money, my job, none of that, or I'm going to take your head off. Woo! Woo! She was ready. She was ready for Rula to get there. I'm getting ready. Like, yeah, she about to come in. It's about to be It's about to be tea, spicy. And then come to find out, Rula called Kelsey, talking about she was in urgent care for 2 hours while she's sitting on FaceTime in full glam, and she did not show up to the winery. That's all right. We'll see it up in the next episode. They're gonna come face to face very soon in our next episode or so. I saw that in the preview. So they're going to get their chance to come face to face. But in the meantime, they played a game. And y'all already know on Housewives how it goes when these girls is playing games. That never goes well. Does it ever go well? Kelsey is saying, listen, y'all have been asking about my relationship. You got questions. This one got questions. So instead of talking behind each other's backs, we're going to put questions in this box about each other. We're going to pull them and we're going to talk about them. These questions were shady as hell. Okay. But they was asking the hard question. They was asking what they really wanted to know. They were being nosy, bottom line. And I'm here for it. They asked Rosie, did she have an affair with a basketball coach? She says no, that's not true. She never met the coach. And I'm saying, well, how you know what coach they talking about? If you ain't, maybe she heard the rumor about herself, but apparently there was a rumor that there's a basketball coach. They didn't say what team or coach, that he was having an affair with a news anchor woman. And we know Rosie comes from that profession, and now she has her like lifestyle travel show that shows different places around Rhode Island, which does very well for itself. By the way, even though on Watch What Happens Live, Joellen tried to play her out, and even on the first episode saying and it didn't look like it get a lot of views. It does well. Okay. She says, no, that's not true. I never even met the man, but you know the man they talking about. That was a little bit of a red flag. You sure, Rosie? You sure? Mm-hmm. And she even threw a little jab at her husband. She was like, I'm barely attracted to my husband. Like, you think that I mess with that older man too? Like, girl, you ain't have to throw your husband under the bus like that. What? They wild. They are wild. Real wild. And then it came to Liz. And before we get to Liz, the question came up to Kelsey, is she in a polygamous relationship? And Kelsey revealed that no, she's not in a polygamous relationship, that she never has been, but that she wants children and wants to be married. Yes, her man lives with another woman the other half of the year. She wants to be married and have children, but that John is not going to give that to her. So that she's dating other men too. She has another man that she's dating. What? So you living a dream in this man's house, all his money, and you got a boyfriend on the side? That's player as fuck. That's player. I I wish John would film, because I'm trying to understand. Did he learn with us last night that she got another boyfriend? Is he all right? Is he cool with that? I'm wondering, because most men, of course, they want to go out and do their thing, but they don't want their woman to do that. They want their woman to be faithful to them while they go do whatever the hell they want to do. So is he really cool with her doing this? Is this something she's doing to push his buttons, to get him to say, okay, I'll marry you, I'll have children with you? Is there other ways that she could go about this? I have so many questions. Is there other ways that she can go about this? Like, can you get a sperm donor or something? Or does he not want kids in the house at all? So many questions. I'm seated for this franchise, y'all. I'm so seated. I have so many questions. But then, Rosie, nosy ass news anchor Rosie, she's like, well, I did ask ChatGPT, and it says that she's not in a polygamous relationship because that would mean they're married. She's in a polyamorous relationship because they're not married and they're dating other people. And Rosie, that's not poly, that's player. They some players. That's all it is. At the end of the day, she's a player, and so is he. Ain't got nothing to do with poly, all these words and acronyms and mess. No, they players. That's all it is. Okay. So she was honest about that. I wonder if the other guy gonna feel. So many questions. Cause that'd be hell on wheels. I wonder if we're gonna see her with the other guy while John is out of town for the 6 months. Seated. You understand me? Seated. So they get around to the next question, which is for Liz, and the question says, "Is the news about you true?" And she's like, "Okay, well, what's the news? Who wrote the question?" And her own friend, her peoples that she's known since elementary school, Alicia, is the one that asked that question. She's like, "Yeah, that's my question." Alicia tried to frame it as if, "Well, I know it's not true, but this is the rumor about you, so I wanted you to address it." That's not the way it came out. It came out as if you believe this too. The news being that there's rumors that, and y'all heard Rula talk about it too, and Rula even went so far to say that she's been told this by Liz. But apparently there's rumors that when Liz's husband Jerry goes out and he's on some type of boating team or something, he goes out for weeks or months at a time, that Liz is messing with another man. Liz told us that this is a close family friend, that they've been friends for a long time. He's a little bit younger. His name is Dino. But on the outside looking in, people may not understand their relationship, but she's never had intercourse with this man. She may, they may talk more than they should, or it may feel inappropriate, but she was more so shocked that Alicia was the one to bring this question, when she says Alicia is the one that already knows that it's not true. That's what I'm saying. That's what I was saying earlier. A couple of these women are trying Liz. You know what I mean? Rula tried Liz, Alicia tried Liz. I'm gonna be honest, I expected a little bit more from Liz. She gonna have to start off with the heads, because they are trying her. And I really did not expect that. I really expected her to be the big bad wolf. Not saying that she not. I think she just caught off guard by it being the women that are really supposed to be closest to her that are saying these things about her. And she's not reacting quickly enough because she's just so in shock. Like, she would expect that probably from someone on the cast that she's not close to. But for it to be these women, that's what she was saying. Like, yo, y'all think I'm the dangerous one. Look around. It's some snipers in this group with the shade, honey. So she was honestly seeming in shock that Alicia was the one to bring that to the table. So it feels like it's going to change their friendship dynamic, at least for a short while they're going to have to sort through that, sit down and talk about it. Like, bitch, what the fuck? Why would you put that question in there? Why would you do that? Because honestly, the other women at the table seemed so shocked by it, like they hadn't even heard that or something. So why would you be the one to put that in that box? Alicia, bad move, sis. Bad move. We'll see how this pans out for you, girl. Now, I talked a little bit about something Joellen posted last night that I wanted to share with y'all, because we met Rula, as I mentioned. We saw her at the luncheon. We also went to her home, where she showed us her home and talked about the business that she has. We saw the big fancy BMW that she's driving. She talked about being a boss bitch and, running a tight ship at the office, but her children runs paramount to that. And we saw her sit down with her husband, where he's saying that the affair is over. He lets Rula track his every move. But Rula made a statement like, yeah, I live in Providence area. I would never live where Joellen lives in Cranston. And it seemed like a lot of people live in Cranston. We saw Alicia's aunts and stuff travel from Cranston. It's literally 15 minutes away. It's not like it's on the other side of the world or anything like that. It's like 15 minutes away from Providence, from what I see. And Rula made it very clear that she would never live where Joellen lives, and that she even avoids her block. So Joellen posted last night in response of that, and she was singing Rihanna's song, and she was saying, "You look so dumb right now." But her caption is what really got me. She said, "You shop in Cranston, you golf in Cranston, your husband sleeps in Cranston." I said, "Shots fired." Listen, y'all. I had to repost it. I said, listen, Joellen being this shady and petty was not on my bingo card. I told y'all I thought she was the glue of Rhode Island. That was not on my bingo card, y'all. Joellen did not come to play. I even saw in the previews where she sits down with Rula and she's like, yeah, your husband at this woman's house every morning. And Rula said, he goes to the gym every morning. And he a little bit on the heftier side. I mean, and Joellen said, do he look like he go to the gym? I cried, honey. Joellen got a little Nene Leaks in her, I'm telling you. I did not expect this from this little girl. I'm not a little girl, but just like little short feisty. So she's a feisty one, y'all. Real Housewives of Rhode Island, episode 2, delivered. Amazing. It's old school reality TV at its rawest and finest. If you're not watching, you're missing out. And that's all I have to say about Real Housewives of Rhode Island. I will continue to recap this franchise. New episodes. Remember, they moved to a new day and time, Sundays, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time after Real Housewives of Atlanta. Now, before I get out of here, let me take care of this business. Make sure you're following me on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok. What you see at the bottom of the screen, reality_recap. Make sure you like this video, share it, and subscribe to my YouTube channel. It's coming across the bottom of the screen at Reality Recap 2876. It's linked in the bios on all my social media platforms. And support me, guys. Send me stars on Facebook. Make sure that you, if you can, give to the Cash App to help me monetize, $ Reality Recap so I can continue to travel to reality events, upgrade my equipment. I appreciate your support so, so, so much. And just free support is best as well. Subscribing, following, commenting, liking the videos. I appreciate y'all for real. Now, like I always say before I get out of here, reality TV stars are humans too. Let's not forget that. It's your girl V with Reality Recap. Y'all enjoy the rest of your day. Peace.